Hello guys, Criptex here. Hope my sound is good. Let me share my screen. Gonna start with this poll. Well, with a couple of polls we did in the previous week. I'm a little bit surprised with the results. I was expecting a huge difference here in the answers, but it's not that different. The question was Abby redressed with Libby's clothes before or after being murdered? Explain your answer in the comments. It's not that different, the result, you know. Almost 40% of you guys, you said that Abby was redressed with Libby's clothes before being killed, meaning she was alive when she was murdered. Sorry for that. That was stupid. She was dressed when she was murdered. So either she dressed or redressed herself, or the killer or killers redress her before killing her. The 61% of the poll said that Abby was redressed after being killed. So, of course, the perpetrator in that case redressed Abby. I was actually expecting a huge difference here, but oh my god, it was not that different. We have our good friend Finn. How are you, Finn? Fishy is in the house. Fishy is in the building. That would be odd. Okay. Weird things are weird. Yeah. Like Criptex. Sometimes Criptex is weird. Finn, I mean, the lack of blood on clothes is weird either way. The lack of blood on the clothes. Yeah, she was very clean. That's my understanding. But it is said that the sweater was how can you say, impregnate? I don't know what's the word in English, but there was blood on the sweater, but like from the inside. I don't know if I'm being clear here or if I'm correct. Anyway, I think that the result indicates that the facts are not very clear for everyone, or the facts are not the facts, or we simply don't know. It's a huge division here in the answers. But we are talking about this later. I want to start with the other poll, and the other poll was this one. Let me show you here, guys, because today we're going to talk about Odinism, and this is the other poll that I found that the results were very interesting as well. So the question was about the significance of the sticks. What do you think about the significance? And explain your answer. So there were 4 options here. The sticks signifies signature, concealment of the bodies, misleading strategy, or ritualistic sign. Is like very, how can I say? We don't have a winner, in my opinion. Well, the result that is having the highest score is a misleading strategy, 40%, followed by ritualistic sign, 33%. Concealment of the bodies, which I think is really unlikely, we have 50%. I really don't think that is something that is even, well, is possible, of course, but I don't think it's logic, in my opinion. I think it's totally the opposite. As it was said in the Hannah's Shakespeare documentary, this is not an intent or an attempt to conceal the bodies. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. It's an attempt to present the bodies. That's what she said in that documentary, and I agree with her. I really would discard that, or not discard, but I don't think it's likely that the placement of the sticks was an attempt to conceal the body. So I understand the low score here for this answer. However, this one, the first one, I really think I'm surprised. This is my answer. I'm really think that I really think that the significance is related to it's a signature. That's my hypothesis, my theory, and it was the lowest score. So I can see that you disagree with my theory here, but anyways. So the highest scores were misleading strategy. So the killer or the killers were trying to mislead the investigators, or it was a ritualistic sign. But I don't know, the fourth answer could be connected to the first one. A ritualistic sign could be also like a signature. I don't know. Anyways, I think that the results were interesting. Anyways, let me come back here to the chat, guys. You are a loser if you believe Odinist did this. Please tell me you are not alleging that. I think you are a loser just because you are asking that question. No, this is not my theory, but I wouldn't call a loser to someone who thinks that the hypothesis is the Odinist angle. So that was like sorry, but that was a stupid comment. Fishy. The X, yeah, the asterisk over the blood is weird. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. I agree with you. That. What do you think about that, Fishy? Let me know. Nobody's alleging anything. Yeah. That was a really stupid question. People are stupid for real. Hello, Aquarian One. How are you? Read the thumbnail. Hey, this guy or this girl is. I think there's some brain damage here for real. Brain damage. That's something very common in this community. Fishy, you don't have to watch, but I don't think Criptex thinks that that's what happened. Actually, I don't think so, but I want to play the devil's advocate tonight. So I have a special guest tonight. It's coming soon. So a little bit of patience here. You go read it again. Exactly. Annalise said, I am the best in Midwest. Okay, most people who think deeply consider if there was a ritualistic behavior, not necessarily Odinism or any other specific label. Yeah. Jamie is here. I believe the same. It is a signature based on a skewed ritual. What is skewed? I don't know that word. Sorry for my ignorance. Sorry, guys, for that. Finn is laughing at someone here, I guess. Annalise said it was a mistake for the investigators to specify Odinist, like the West Memphis Three. Rather than say Satanism, say ritual if that's what is believed. Yeah, I agree. Defending a named group makes a problem. Yeah, I think that was a bad strategy, in my opinion. I tend to agree with you, but it's too late, I think. What's the meaning of skewed? I have to go to Google, guys, because I'm so curious right now. So I have to increase my vocabulary here. I'm not used to read this word. Suddenly change direction of her position. Okay, I learned something new tonight. Thank you guys for teaching me this. So he's laughing at you, calling the person an idiot. Yeah. Skewed means off balance or pushed in one direction or another. Yeah, interesting. Thank you for that. Skewed is in a bad interpretation. Okay, so let me try to go for our guest tonight. He's the best YouTuber ever in the world. His name is Criptex. This guy is awesome. Please subscribe to his channel. So this guy is gonna talk about Odinism today. So actually, this is one of the few videos I made about Odinism. Maybe the only one, I think so. And I want to revisit that video. At the time, I was using a mask, so let's remember the old Criptex, and I want to see if the Odinism angle is that crazy. So I'm gonna present that theory, and then I'm gonna come back to the channel. So please say hello to our guest, Mr. Criptex from Colombia. He was using a mask at the time. The guy is cool, so enjoy the video. Gonna come back in a couple of minutes. Thank you. So let's take a look. This is the geographical location of the events. We have Delphi, Logansport, and Rushville. Of course, we start with Abby and Levy, the date of the murders, February 13, 2017. We have the first actor, who is Logan Holder. He was dating Abby at the time of the murders. Uh, Remember that his father, Brad Holder, posted in Facebook that the FBI and the state police questioned him because Levy and his son Logan were friends. That's weird because actually Logan Holder was Abby's boyfriend, but in his Facebook post, he says that they questioned him because Logan was Levy's friend, which is true. They were friends, but we would expect to have Abby in the picture, not only Libby. Abby was supposed to be more important for Logan than Libby. So this is weird, and we can see the same thing in the Frank's memorandum. Remember that in the memorandum they say father of Logan Holder, ex-boyfriend of Libby. So I don't know if this is a mistake or if Logan Holder was actually dating Libby and Abby at the same time or at different times. But it's interesting. They're trying to connect Logan Holder with Libby, uh, even if he was actually Abby's boyfriend. So now we have the second actor, who is Brad Holder. He is the father of Logan. And let's remember the situation about the Brad Holder's image, which was similar to the crime scene. And The story is going to be told by Patrick Westfall here. This is an interview conducted by Slot Intuition on his channel.
It was an image of two young girls who were laying down and they had sticks laid over them. And the defense is trying to say that it was very similar to the crime scene.
I'd have to see that photo before I could have any thought or opinion on it. It's creepy as hell, nonetheless, to hear about it.
Here we have Brad Holder by himself. I think we remember this clip, which I find really disrespectful to the girls.
So in the past, I've been accused of killing Abby and Libby, and so is my son Logan Holder. Me and my son Logan Holder had nothing to do with the murder of Abby and Libby, and we don't know who did. I don't know, maybe Bigfoot did it. I think he's in Canada somewhere. No, seriously, we don't know who did it. So please leave us alone. Haiti Perkins, I don't know who you are, but you're being a real Karen. I don't know who killed him. Please leave my family alone. I mean, seriously. I mean, if you're going to confront me, just leave social media out of it. You know, come confront me like a man or a woman, whatever you are. I mean, this has been years, okay? I don't know who did it. I honestly don't know. I wish they would catch him. It'd be nice. Maybe you people would leave me the hell alone. So please, I mean, before you know the facts. So my last video pissed you off. Well, this one's really going to piss you off. So you don't like my hat? You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? This hat trigger you? What kind of haircut do you have, Karen? I mean, I definitely have a dickhead haircut. Okay, fact one. I was at work in Buffalo, Indiana, at Liberty Landfill when the murders occurred. Fact two. My son was at school when the murders occurred. Right here in Logansport. You're worried about me making a comment about Bigfoot? I'm sorry, I should.
Remember that Brad Holder and Logan Holder, they went to the funerals. This is the sketch that was made based on the testimony of the witness, Teresa Liebert, the guy she encountered at 8:30 in the morning of the date of the murders. Most of the people say that this sketch looks like Elvis Fields. To me, it looks a lot to Logan Holder. Logan Holder posted on his Facebook page that he was supposed to meet the girls the day of the murders, something like the Keegan Klein statement. I was supposed to meet them, but they didn't show up, something like that. It's not the same thing, but you understand my point.
What did you know about Abby and Logan's relationship?
All online, teenage, small social skill type stuff. A lot of these kids can't talk. You know, you can be best friends online. I've watched my kids do it. They'll talk with somebody through text, and they're within 5 feet of them, and just they can't interact. They can't socialize. They can't do any of that stuff anymore. It's almost sad to watch, but I think it was all online, talking and chatting.
Yeah, because Brad Holder would come visit you in Delphi. I wondered if maybe that's when Logan Holder, his son, was meeting up with Abby and Libby or something like that.
No, Logan would never venture away from my house and go anywhere. He stayed around with my boys in the backyard, or they would walk across the street to Canal Park, or the other way across the street to the canal itself. So he never ventured off into town and wandered by himself. Logan never made any comments, anything about the girl. I didn't find out that they were even talking with each other until after I was done with Brad Holder, done having him come around my house. And I do believe the situation with the girls had happened. I didn't even know that those two were even talking until afterwards. Logan didn't talk to me a lot. He didn't talk to anybody a lot. He wasn't Captain Get the Gab. He was just there because his dad brought him. Sometimes he had more of the aura about him that he didn't really want to be there. He's just coming along with DAD to hang out at my house for our get-togethers we had 2 or 3 times a month. But no, he never spoke about anything in that sense. Just typical teenager ramble.
Now we have Patrick Westphal in the picture.
She had information that when Brad had told her that when the relationship between him and Patrick Westphal fell apart was when they were doing a ritual near a river, and that there was a fallout because Westphal wanted to move beyond just sacrificing animals. So, I mean, you can intuit what they meant, or what he was saying. Westphal said, "I want to accelerate it. I want to move to the next level. Forget animals," which obviously sounds like it means people.
Obviously,
what's above an animal, right? She also said another really interesting thing that came out to offer proof is that Brad said that he had seen, and he, of course, telling, so it's basically double hearsay, that he had seen on Westphal's phone a video of girls being posed in a certain way with sticks on them, like on like a video.
wait, now who on whose phone?
So Brad told Amber, his now ex-wife, that on Patrick's phone he had seen a video of the girls, of not Abby and Libby.
Right. No,
obviously.
I get it. Other girls.
Other girls.
Let's remember what he said about the end of his friendship with Brad Holder.
He was starting to be untruthful about a lot of stuff. I would hear stories from people about how, he would claim to save my life in Afghanistan on numerous occasions, diving on me in guard towers while rockets were flying through, just off the wall crap. And one day his boy texted one of my kids and said, "Well, we're running late today. We'll be there in a little bit." And it's because we're at church. And so from there, I confronted him at my house about the whole church issue, going to church and then coming to my house and playing also true, and told him, "Man, can't be in both worlds with me, dude. Pick one or the other. If you want to go and do the Abrahamic stuff, feel free. As long as it makes you a better person, go do that. If you want to be over here doing this with me, then do this with me, and we'll make it happen." And he's like, "Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and split then." And that was it. There was no fight, screaming, arguing, body slamming, anything like that. It was 2 dudes talking in my living room, and he went on his way, and I let him go on his way in peace. He never even came back to my house to collect a book bag and some leather working stuff, hole punches and twine to make, things out of leather with, and never spoke to the man again. Not a phone call, Facebook, nothing.
Johnny Messer. What a mess.
Okay, so Messer's the guy that says they were recruiting in this area.
Right. So Johnny Messer was a guy recruiting Vinlanders down in Rushville by talking to 2 other guys that had said, yeah, Messer was trying to recruit us to be Vinlanders.
Johnny's ex-girlfriend, Taylor Hornaday, told police that Johnny Messer and Patrick Westphal were like brothers, reads the document. She also told police that she had allowed Johnny to borrow her car on or around Valentine's Day 2017 and that Johnny drove her car up there, to Delphi, to hang with his Vinlander friends. When Messer returned the vehicle to Hornaday, she apparently told investigators there was dried blood over the side of the car, and Messer allegedly refused to discuss the details of how it got there. Johnny Messer's ex-girlfriend further stated that it took her several car washes to finally remove the blood, the document continues. Meanwhile, Messer has claimed that he had never, not once in his life, been to Delphi, home of his brother, Patrick Westphal, and near the home of his other Odinite brother, Brad Holder. According to the document, Messer's ex-girlfriend described him and Holder as two of the most violent people she knew, who, in her opinion, were fully capable of being involved in the murders. Johnny Messer's ex-girlfriend further stated that a motive for their involvement in the murder of Abby and Libby might be the concept of blood in and blood out, which means social acceptance into their secret circles, reads the memorandum.
Did Messer? Oh, no. Messer never did. He was a probate, and he got, like I said, you're hanging around for so long. You're a probate for so long, and that gives them every chance to find anything out in your character that's not going to be something that they want in the club. It didn't take long to find out all the scandal and his crookedness and all that counterfeit money spending and the bed bugs. His old lady carrying bugs around in her purse and pill bottles. It wasn't long before I was on my way down there to pull him. He got probate. You can see him standing there in a picture somewhere. I thought I saw his probate patch on, but he never made it into actually being a patch holder or a made man. I yanked his shit. Pulling Johnny Messer's patch. It was the person that was probating me. The person that put the probate patch on me is the one that said this needed to be done. And I said, no worries, fam, I got you. And I went and did it.
So this is crazy. So Johnny Messer's uncle, he lived with Elvis Fields in Rossville. That's really interesting.
So it turns out that Johnny Messer's uncle, Billy Messer, lived with Elvis Fields. So
What?
There's your connection to Elvis Fields.
You're
And so
kidding me right now.
Why would I kid about something? Everyone likes to discount Elvis Fields saying what he said because he has a low IQ. Like, I don't buy that. I think that a guy with a low IQ is the guy who walks back to a police car and says, hey, if I spit on the girls' heads and, but I can give you is a bright guy doing that? I don't know. And I keep hearing people poo-poo the antlers. So Click has seen the evidence. He's seen the photos. And he said, like, unequivocally, there were sticks out of
Antlers
out of Abby's hair. Okay. Like, so people keep saying that doesn't exist. We now have testimony from Todd Click that it did exist. And that
is crazy. Like, I am shocked.
Crazy.
This
was the closest thing to
Frank's
a
memo.
trial that you're going to see. Like, this was like what I've been waiting for a year and a half with the motion to dismiss.
It sounds like they're trying to connect this Elvis person, Elvis Fields, to you through Johnny Messer.
That'd be the only way they could do it. There ain't no one else in this state that had any interaction with that guy besides Johnny Messer. This guy was a nobody to the club. Only Johnny Messer.
So to complete the circle here, remember that it was Becky Patty who alerted law enforcement about the potential involvement of Brian Holder in the murders. I guess because she knew that Logan Holder had a relationship with the girls. Now let's put in the picture the three officers from Rossville that were investigating the Odinism connection. We're talking about Todd Click, Kevin Murphy, and Greg Ferenczi. So remember that Greg Ferenczi was killed by an ex-correction officer who was allegedly involved in Aryan supremacy and Odinism and this kind of stuff.
He was an amazing person, whether it was about a meth lab or human trafficking. He would do everything possible to find everything about that particular crime. And he was a teacher. He did so many more things that I can't sit here and explain to all of you. Those of us that work with him know.
Detective Ferenczi is survived by 2 adult children.
We had just an absolute explosion of methamphetamine manufacturing and methamphetamine sales, methamphetamine use in this county, this city, this metro area.
So please pay attention to this. Maybe you already know about that for sure, but it's important to remember this. That was the meeting between Todd Click and Jerry Holman. And this was really creepy, in my opinion. It looks to me that Jerry Holman was trying to send a message to Todd Click by having Brad Holder in the waiting room at that moment. Also, remember that Brad Holder was a Freemason.
Yeah, because I think he's a Freemason too, right? So he's kind of like gets into these groups, tries to get into as many groups as he can.
Yeah, he changes his image a lot, his appearance a lot, his actions a lot, what he's concerned about at the time. Like, that man is just constantly changing. He's a chameleon, absolutely.
And Nick, the prosecutor, he was part of the same Masonic lodge. Funny coincidence. The Frank memorandum was just the initial Molotov cocktail, something incendiary, something that they knew we were not going to buy. They are not stupid. They knew that we were to say, this is bullshit. But they didn't put everything they had at that time. They were just sending like a mini bomb, like drops of information, just to start creating a seed in the mind of the public opinion. So then there is the hearings. Now we know about the Patrick Westphal video with girls staged with sticks on them. Now we know about Johnny Messer with a video where some guy is being kidnapped. Now we know that there were more cell phones in a radio of 100 yards from the crime scene. So every time we learn more significant pieces of information. I'm not saying we're buying this theory, but it doesn't seem that crazy as it was at the beginning. And I think that the defense is going to continue to release pieces of significant and revelatory information about this little by little. And I really think that they have something big under their sleeves. That's what I think based on the recent developments about this case. So I'm going to formulate a very far-fetched theory. So Criptex is going to formulate a very far-fetched theory. I want to know your opinions about that theory. So you know that this video was made just before the process. So maybe we know more information today than before. When I was saying that some mini bombs were ready to be dropped during the process, I think we had actually those mini bombs, and I'm talking about the cell phone, the sudden resurrection of the cell phone. Something that, in my opinion, is still relevant. I don't buy necessarily the explanations that people gave online. I actually think that the defense and the prosecution, they were not prepared properly to explain that cell phone behavior. Just think about the expert from the prosecution doing a Google search, improvising during the process to explain that some type of water damage was the cause of that situation. To me, this is not something solid. Having an expert doing that type of improvisation during the process, come on, this is just unacceptable. And if the prosecution was not prepared in the same sense, I think that the defense they didn't do a good job to challenge that situation with the cell phone, anyways. So my theory here, and I know it's gonna be a far-fetched theory, but let's listen to me, and after this we can discuss in the chat what are your thoughts. So I think it's gonna be like maybe 12 minutes, something like that. And let me know what do you think about this. So my far-fetched theory about Odinism coming soon in a couple of seconds. About the Odinist angle.
Don't do that.
Is that far-fetched that for my theory to work, there's an initial condition that needs to be there for the theory to work. And that condition is that any alibi of Patrick Westphal, Elvis Fields, and Brad Holder was fabricated.
Don't do that.
We have to place Westphal, Holder, and Elvis Fields at the crime scene.
Don't do that.
Let's say that these three guys were performing the usual stuff they do, the usual bloods in the woods near Delphi, near the Monon High Bridge, the date of the murders. And they were not intending to kill anyone. They were just doing the usual ritual. They had the usual stuff, knives, sacrificing animals, and let's say that they were high on alcohol, they were high on drugs, and they were looking for an animal to sacrifice. And at that point, they noticed the girls on the bridge. Patrick Westphal, the leader of the group, instructed Brad Holder to go to bring the girls. As we know, Brad Holder was the follower, the yes sir. He would be happy to please Patrick Westphal in that scenario. Elvis Fields was there just happy to be part of the gang. And remember that Patrick Westphal wanted to go beyond the animal sacrifice. So that was an opportunistic scenario for him to commit or to carry out his fantasy. And the combination of the Odinist philosophy, the influence of the drugs and the alcohol, all of this together led to the human sacrifice of one of the girls or both of them. They drain Abby's blood in whatever they used to conduct the animal sacrifice. In this case, it was a human sacrifice. They collected the blood and they painted the F on the tree. Elvis Fields did spit on Abby's head. They put some sticks above Abby's head. According to Elvis Fields, that were antlers. And that was because Abby was a troublemaker. Troublemaker, maybe because she was resisting the attack or something like that. I remember that Elvis Fields did the confession to his sister on the 14th. So when he was talking about antlers, he couldn't know about the specifics of the crime scene. In less than one day, I don't think he could have that information. That's why, and this is not far-fetched, this point, I actually think that he had some information. Either he was there or at the crime scene, or he knew someone that was at the crime scene the day before or the same day on the 14th. It's impossible for him to have that specifics. Even if there were no antlers for him, that could be just an interpretation. Sticks around Abby's head were antlers for him. That was my far-fetched theory. What do you think about that?
Don't do that! Why? Why did you do that, Karen? Oh my God. Oh my God.
That was all for today, guys. Thank you so much again for being here. See you next week, and let your comments in the comment section. Hit the like, subscribe. See you next week. Thanks, guys. So that was Criptex. Hello, everyone. A good friend from this channel. That guy was using a mask at the time. I don't know why. What was on his mind? I think the guy is a little bit shy. And do you know the story why Criptex changed that pattern using a mask and now not using the mask? Do you know the story about that? That was an accident. But anyways, let me go to the chat here, guys, to see who is here again, just to say hello to you and to see what are your comments about that video. So again, I did this video a couple of months or days before the process was conducted. That was one of my theories about the case, not my favorite theory. Of course, you know that my theory is that the clients were involved. And actually, I think that Keegan was the mastermind, but this one was one of my, how can I say, one of the theories I considered at the time. Is that crazy? Is far-fetched? Still relevant? Is not relevant at all? I don't know. Fishy is laughing. I don't know why. Nobody, nothing's here. Hello. Adrian is here. How are you? Jamie. 12 twigs could have been horns. Yes, I agree, and I said it in the video. That could be a matter of interpretation. I know that there were no horns when we see the crime scene pictures, but there were mostly like 2 twigs above Abby's head. But for someone like Elvis, yeah, I agree, he could give some type of interpretation to that configuration as horns. I agree with you. Mother of Dragons. Mother of Dragons. That Google search was unbelievable, in my opinion. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's, in my opinion, it's just unacceptable that the judge accepted that Google search at that time of the process. Like, come on, are you serious? Those were the type of experts that we are supposed to trust, and it's just unacceptable for real. Linda K. Johnson, how are you, Linda K? Happy to have you here. Delphi, LEO, need a stringent. I don't understand the acronym, so you have to help me. LEO, what is that? Law enforcement origin? I don't know what is that. Sorry for that. Adrian, I don't think the defense thoroughly challenged experts. Yeah, 100%. 100% with you. Linda is looking Miller. This is the theory I have had since day one. This was an initiative and so much more. Yeah. Unacceptable, Linda K. Unacceptable. How so you were late here? By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the video, please hit the like. If you are a YouTube content creator, please share the video. If you are rich, please become a member. If you are poor, hit the like. I'm just kidding. Hit the like, guys. Rebecca is here. How are you, Rebecca? How are you, Rebecca? Happy to have you here. This is direct intimidation. Yeah, the situation with Todd Click, where Brad Holder was waiting in the waiting room. Come on, pure intimidation. And I said, thank you for your participation in the polls and for your answers. Very interesting, by the way, as usual. So I'm glad you feel very safe. You live alone on a nature reserve. Nice to hear that. Yeah, I like bottom for me. Hey, man, I'm the poor guy, Finn, not you. I'm the poor guy. Remember that Your Majesty Fixolves named Criptex as the poor guy. So I'm the poor guy here in this community. So don't try to steal that description from me. I own that slogan, motto, the motto. The poor guy. This is Criptex, not Finn. Don't be jealous, man. I'm really, I cannot accept that from you, man. Who was in an accident? Huh? Mother of Dragons. So let me come back again to the polls because I want to see your comments. And let's see. Sorry, the configuration of StreamYard changed, so I have to figure out the new buttons. Sorry for that. Share screen, I found it. Criptex. So again. The results of the poll. What do you think the stick's significance is? Signature of the killer, that was the loser, and actually, again, this is my belief, this is my interpretation. To me, the sticks, it's a signature. Maybe I'm watching a lot of television, but to me, that's the significance. Something that is important for the killer is in the mind of the killer, some type of message he wanted to display in that crime scene. Maybe I'm watching too much Hannibal, but that's what I think. I don't see any signs of any possibility of concealment or possibility. Yes, I can see a possibility, but to me, it's really unlikely that the sticks were an attempt to conceal the bodies. It's just crazy. It's just crazy that the type of geometric configuration, having a stick placed above the throat of the victims, covering like 2% of the whole surface of the bodies. Again, as Hannah Shakespeare said, this is not an attempt to conceal the bodies. This is the opposite. This is a way to present the bodies. So to me, it's just unlikely. But we have 16% of the population of this poll saying that or believing that the sticks was a way to conceal the bodies. Now the winners were misleading strategy. So the killer was just, or the killers were just trying to mislead the investigators, playing with law enforcement. Possible, yeah, I agree. This is possible, but I don't know. is too elaborated. So, but again, it's possible. Remember that in the Reese Davis testimony, he was talking about that scenario, the sticks, and according to the words that Keegan Klein said to Reese Davis, that was like a satanic staging in order to mislead the investigators. So yeah, I understand why this is like the winner option, let's say, misleading strategy. I understand, but I still I be here in the loser option, which is the signature. And remember that I'm the poor guy, not Finn. So that's why I have the lowest option here with me. And the other one that was not that bad was a ritualistic sign. I didn't have too much possibilities to add another option, let's say, in the poll. So I understand that ritualistic sign is something very vague. So ritualistic in the sign, in the context of a ritual, but it could be a ritual for the killer itself. So again, we can connect the answer number 1 with the answer number 4. So anyways, I would read some of the comments you made about that. So we have Ducking Felony saying that Criptex asked the best questions. Thank you for that. We have Tatiana. She says, I wish I could pick multiples, not for concealment. I agree with you 100%. Again, unlikely. I agree with you. A signature, it's a possibility, and it may tie into the symbolic, ritualistic concept. Yeah, I can understand that some of the answers can merge together. I agree with you. The scene has several indications of ritualistic behaviors and symbolism, so that's definitely a possibility. A misleading strategy is also possible. If someone is familiar enough with the symbolism being used to try to replicate it in order to deflect attention from themselves. Yeah, that could be an attempt to frame someone. I understand. Yeah, that's likely. Dr. Perlmutter was very interesting to listen to regarding this on Defense Diaries. She was the expert who would have testified at the trial. Either way, the sticks are not randomly placed. I agree with you 100%. That geometric configuration is not random at all. They didn't serve as a concealment. This comment is like if it was me, the one who wrote it, but I swear it wasn't me. It's not an alter account. It's just that it happens that this viewer, her name is Tatiana. Her thoughts are aligned with mine. So, in my opinion, they serve another purpose that's either personal and specific to the perpetrators. Yeah, that's why I say it's a signature, or it was used as a distraction. I am not yet firmly convinced. Either way, great comment here from Tatiana. Thank you for that. Mary Beanie, one of the usual suspects here, really could have went multiple, but here I think the sticks are to lead in another direction. Okay. We have, of course, Annalisette. Annalisette commented that maybe none of the above. Well, that's interesting. So according to Annalisette, none of the answers could be the one. So she didn't vote. Someone else pointed out that the sticks may have been intended as a partial camouflage. A partial camouflage in a geometric configuration, with a stick placed above the throat of each girl. I don't buy it, but okay. Especially the larger sticks break up the pattern of what is actually there. Plus, the big tree limb beside Libby is between her and the creek. This person theorized that the stick that's obscure the view for anyone approaching from the creek. And what about anyone approaching from the other side? Like, I don't know. I really don't buy it. And if that was an attempt to conceal or to camouflage, to do a camouflage scenario or something like that, it was the poorest attempt to do that. If you want to cover someone, why don't you put just leaves on the bodies? Why do you conceal a pool of blood? Why do you conceal a pool of blood? They put sticks in an asterisk way pattern above a pool of blood. So the killer was concealing a pool of blood. Seriously? With an asterisk. So you put sand, leaves, you cover someone, but you don't do a partial concealment. A partial concealment, like, I don't understand that for real. And they said, I reject the rune theory. However, the placement of the sticks reminds me of ancient burials where objects were put atop corpses to keep the spirit for wandering or from escaping and causing harm. Interesting. Some else suggested that a somewhat asterisk configuration near Abbey could be Vonnegut's asterisk. If so, the longest stick would be intended as the middle finger, if that's a middle finger. Where might be pointing and why? So, interesting. The other poll, let's come back to the other poll, guys, here to see what were your thoughts about that. So the question was if Abby was redressed with Libby's clothes before or after being murdered. And I was surprised with the division here. 40-60. 40-60 is huge. I was expecting really like 10, 90, 20, 80, but 40-60. Just surprised. Surprised. Let me just come back here to your comments, guys. Tatiana needs to sleep. Thank you for exploring this and opening up the discussion. I will catch up the replay. Thank you, Tatiana, for your comments. Jari, you're gonna do the replay tonight. Cool. Sunflowers here. Oh, cool. Just coming in hope I'm not too late. I think you're too late. Actually, I don't think we are going to stay too long. But anyways, we were gonna talk a little bit more before ending the live. Jamie, Finn, you are already our community. Let Criptex have his own distinction. What do you mean? All right, guys. I think thank you, Adrian, for that. Yes, please hit the like. And I think that's it for today. Please let your comments in the comment section. See you maybe tomorrow. Why not? It was cool to talk to you guys. Thank you for showing up. Stay in touch, and see you tomorrow. Share the video and hit the like. Bye bye.